Hello, and welcome to Japanese craft beer reviews. From today, we're going to begin a new series, and we're going to look at 11 different beers from the Kyoto Brewing Company. And these are fairly recent beers that they have produced, and I visited their tap room not too long ago and picked up these 11 bottles. And Kyoto Brewing Company is located in, of course, Kyoto, which is one of the ancient capitals of Japan. They started in the year 2015. They've been going a little over 5 years now. And they were founded by three people, an American, a Canadian, and a Welshman. And full disclosure, I know all three of them, and I have known the American who is the head brewer for a number of years when he was a home brewer, even before he started brewing. He used to bring us his home brew, beer drinking friends, and we would sample it and give him our impressions, and he was an excellent home brewer. He also studied in the U.S., and he did an internship at Lost Abbey down in Southern California. And then in Japan, he did an internship at one of the very best craft breweries in this country, which is Shiga Kogen Beer. So he got a lot of experience, and they started in 2015, and they were named the best new brewery in Japan for that year by Rate Beer in the Rate Beer Best rankings. And they were also, in 2019, the last year, they were also voted the best brewery in Japan by Rate Beer Best. So they have been around again for 5 years. They have a tap room, which is now has limited access due to the coronavirus. You can go in and buy beer and sit outside and drink, but they haven't opened the upstairs seating area yet. And they're open on weekends primarily, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Occasionally they open for on holiday weekends. They may open a little longer than that. They have three main flagship beers, which you can buy on their website. And they also have two seasonal lines. One is called the Kimagure line, and that's generally pale ales or IPAs, things like that. And their second seasonal line is Shunka Shuto, which is, they're generally saisons. And these are 4 quarterly beers following the seasons. So Kimagure will have a spring version, a summer version, etc. And Shunka Shuto actually does mean spring, summer, autumn, and winter. So they come out, so they have 2 seasonal lines, 4 beers each in each one, so 8 seasonal beers a year. But they put out a lot of one-offs too as well, quite a few beers. On Rate Beer, in fact, they list 168 different beers, and this is as of October. So in 5 years, they have made that many different beers. And on Untapped, 137, so they haven't got quite all of them yet. And the average rating for their beers is 3.71 on Untapped. So they have been quite successful critically, and right now fortunately they got into bottling and online sales before the coronavirus really hit hard here. And so they've been able to keep things going with that, and their tap room open as well. So let's look at 11 different beers from this wonderful brewery in Kyoto. Okay, and today's beer is called Kyoto Brewing Ni, which means 2. And this is the old kanji for the old Chinese character for 2. In our last video, we looked at Ichi, number 1. And this beer is the second one. It's the same recipe as Ichi, but it's double dry hopped. So it's an IPA, 6.5%, 38.5 international bittering units. On rate beer, only 2 ratings, 3.85 average out of 5. Untapped, 41 ratings, 3.85. This beer came out in September, I believe, of 2020. And again, it's an experimental beer. It is has the same recipe as the Ichi, which we looked at in our last video, but it's a double dry hopped. All else is the same. So the malt bill is Pilsner, wheat, and Carapils. The bittering hops were Columbus, and the flavor and aroma hops, there are four of them: Cascade, Simcoe, Citra, and Saburo. And the dry hopping for the 2 dry hop versions are Citra and Saburo, 50-50 blend apparently of both of those. Okay, and so I have the remainder of Ichi, which I just reviewed in the previous video, and a little later we'll compare them. Okay, so Ichi and Ni, single dry hopped and double dry hopped. What we're looking at right now is Ni, the double dry hopped version. Okay, it is like Ichi, a nice, mild, medium gold straw color with about a half a finger of head, and kind of frothy, fluffy white head, and quite a bit of carbonation, much more than in the Ichi, and it could be the glass difference, I'm not sure. I have Ichi here and Ni here. Ni has a lot more carbonation going on, as you can see. We'll put it through the light and see what we got going on. Okay, now it could be the glass, but there is a big difference in carbonation between these 2 beers. Not sure what to attribute that to. Okay, let's give it a go. Okay, the nose is much stronger than Ichi. A bit weedy, a little bit cat pissy from the Citra maybe. And Saburo is a hybrid of, I think, Simcoe and something else, or perhaps Citra, I can't remember. Citra and something else. It's kind of like a daughter hop, a fairly recent hop. Maybe in the last couple of years it's become more popular. So we got much more kind of a greeny, weedy nose. There's tropical fruit. Ichi had a lot more tropical fruit in it than Ni does. Or perhaps it's just more disguised in Ni. Even something like light tobacco, maybe? Interesting. Okay. And in the flavor too, the difference comes out quite a bit. Nice kind of malty, or I'm sorry, the maltiness, it seems to be a little heavier bodied even, but I assume that's the extra hops, that the flavor kind of as an illusion of body. But it does have tropical fruit. Somehow I think the wheat comes out more in this one. I don't know why. But really, tropical fruit and overripe citrus. But the flavor is really popping out, definitely much more than in Ichi. This tastes, it just seems like it's a stronger beer, but it's not. It's exactly the same. Okay, so you can see they seem very similar in appearance, but the carbonation is quite different. This one has a much riper, kind of ruder in your face sort of nose and flavor. Ichi is, I mean, this is solid, very solid, but this one really comes along with the hops, and you know it for sure. Yeah. So I get the feeling this is the kind of beer that you could set it on the counter, and you know, the aroma of the hops is going to waft over to you like a meter or so away. This one maybe not. Interesting comparison between two beers that have exactly the same recipe, but one is single hop, dry hopped, and the other is double dry hopped, and that is me. That's the one we looked at today. It's a 6.5%, 38.5 international bittering units IPA from Kyoto Brewing. Give Kyoto Brewing a go. They deserve your attention. They have a website and they're selling beers online. If you live in Japan, if you don't live in Japan, I hope you can come someday after the coronavirus pandemic has abated and travel has resumed. Please come to Japan and try Kyoto Brewing beers if you get to Kyoto. That's it for today. I hope you'll subscribe to the channel and leave me a comment. Tell me what you think, if you know about Kyoto Brewing or single dry hopping, double dry hopping, anything at all. Let's chat, okay? That's it. Bye-bye.